We are live. Before you got to say anything, when I said what is today, we all know what today is. Today's OG's birthday, and right before that, I'm Eddie Vitale, host of My Fight Our War. And today we are celebrating a birthday.
Mm-hmm.
We are celebrating and we are having an OG roast.
Mm-hmm.
So, without further ado, here's OG. No, we're going to keep her in the green room for a little bit because, let's see, what is a roast without telling some stories?
Okay.
And I got to figure out which ones to tell. But first of all, as you guys know, OG, aka Lynn or Lynn, aka OG, is not only the admin who keeps this amazing show together. Actually, we work out at the same gym,
Mm-hmm.
the Powerhouse Gym, along with the other gym rats here in Detroit, Michigan. And we've known each other. Well, we've seen each other for years and years at the gym, going at different times. And by the time I'd get there, she was leaving, and so it'd be basically hi bye, how you doing, and that was it. And one fateful day, she decided to introduce herself and say hi.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because my pre-workout consisted of just trying to walk into the place with limping and stretching and all that from all my injuries and surgeries. And so one day she walks up and she says, "Hi, I'm Lynn." And I said, "Hi." And she followed that up with, "What the hell's wrong with you?"
Kind of.
Yeah, something like that. So after a few laughs, she said, like I said, we've seen each other coming and going in there, so it was all in fun. And she said, I see that you're obviously in pain. I'm a nurse, and so we started joking around and just carried on a conversation. And I think I may have had my hat on or something.
Mm-hmm.
And so during our conversation, she asked about My Fight Our War. And of course, you can't shut me up when it comes to our family. So I started talking about My Fight Our War, what it was about, how it all came about. And as we were talking, I saw this look come over her eyes, and I knew that hit a chord, that something there clicked. And it did because unfortunately she lost her brother because of addiction, because of alcohol. So right there, all of a sudden, she's asking questions. And the more that we talked, she's like, "How do I join?" And she became a member of My Fight Our War. And within, the next few days, the same thing. Now, of course, talking, going in there and said hi bye. It was carrying, having a little conversation. And obviously during that time, just the word growing and getting busier and busier. And I don't know how it came about, but just saying, how just things were getting crazy. And basically, I'm doing all this alone. Well, she offered help.
Mm-hmm.
And so to this day, I said, "You said hi," because I said, I need help basically with everything, running everything. And she instantly became my admin to run. When I say everything, I mean everything. And she's like, "What does admin do?" I'm like, "No idea, but you're doing it." And she took over everything from that day and has been taking over, or has taken over everything from that day on. And I remember joking around when we were talking about, what it is, that she does as far as for the main thing is like keeping me focused and keeping track of schedules, shows, people, guests that are coming on the shows, what day, what time, all these different upcoming events. And I remember that I made a comment about, it's extremely busy now, but this is nothing. And I remember saying things are going to get just absolutely crazy. I said, telling you right now, we got this feeling that our family is just going to explode here. We have some amazing things that are going to be happening. So besides all the things that I just mentioned, as far as responsibilities and organization and guests and shows and all that, I said, this isn't just going to be a little hobby thing, doing shows and sending links and all that. I go, you're going to be making arrangements, travel arrangements, planes, flights, different time schedules for shows throughout the United States. I go, plan on, you're going to be flights to New York because we're doing a Today Show. And just, kind of just going on a roll. And she kind of laughed, I laughed. But at the same time, I think I said, kidding, but not kidding. And little did I know that a few months went by, and after we all go to the same gym, and after the gym we hit breakfast, and then put our plan together, our list that I talked about. She writes it all down, and then she gives me the list of things that I have to do that day, upcoming days, the upcoming weeks. So we discussed that over breakfast. So here we're sitting down, and I said, I've got some news. And I go, remember I said, as far as all the things that we have to do, or that you have to do, organizing everything, I said, we are in need of tickets to fly to New York. And then we need a car because we're going to Connecticut, and we are doing Locked In with the INBIC. And it was just very funny because here we are going to New York, and I was wrong about the Today Show, but little did I know it would be even so much more than the Today Show, because we were doing Locked In with the INBIC. And it has just steamrolled and snowballed and just been blowing and growing. It's faster every day. The doors that have been opening, the things that have been happening, the people that we have met, the shows, it is literally incredible. And so I joke around a lot. You guys know that. But all seriousness, OG is the glue to My Fighter War. And she keeps this madness together. Not only that, like I said, we've seen each other going in and out of the gym and all that. So we obviously knew who each other were, a little high and all that. And obviously became my admin for the show, and obviously friends and all that. But became my best friend because of the things that she has done as far as the admin in the show. But not only that, she has helped in the last year alone. She has helped through some very difficult times. In 1 year, she has been there and helped me through 6 surgeries in 1 year, in October to October. 2 major elbow surgeries, 2 major back surgeries, hand surgeries, and while doing all that, maintaining My Fighter War. But we then had this amazing opportunity after I did Locked In with the INBIC. We just hit it off, and next thing you know, doors started opening there. And now with all that we have been talking about going on every 6 weeks now, we're going to New York and Connecticut. We are doing shows, 8 to 10 shows in 3 days in New York. We now have our own producer and editor with Matt Cronin. We are going to be going throughout the United States now. After we do, it is absolutely such a blessing, all that's happened. And OG is in charge of all of it and runs all of it. It's just amazing. So even though I do screw around, joke around a lot, the appreciation and love that I have for OG, for everything that she's done for our family and for me is just very heartfelt, and I appreciate it. And especially today for her birthday. So I just wanted to have a little birthday roast for OG. And now that all that nice sappy shit is done and over with, let's get OG in the house.
Hey, guys.
There she
How are
is.
you?
There's the birthday girl.
Not bad for 505 years old, baby.
So, when we first started talking in the gym, and obviously everyone, sees me limping and, hobbling around and all that. I'm trying to think where to even start with some of the comments that she makes and comes up with, because I always say, you're the smart one. She's traveled around the world numerous times.
Yeah.
And when I say that, I'm not kidding. I mean, when
I used to have pages pasted in my passport. I was traveling so much.
Oh yeah, so we're talking about travel,
Yeah.
and so she's talking about all this, and then cruises and all.
Mhm.
So asked about flying. I go, well, I've been to Vegas, Chicago. Okay, cruise. I go, well, I live in Detroit. I went down the Detroit River. I went to Buffalo,
Hello.
and so we're talking about that and just having some laughs, and we're talking finances and all this other shit.
Mhm.
And one day at the gym, we're just shooting the shit, and she's all flustered about something. What's going on? Because she's always, everything's fine, everything's great. Every time she made a comment one time about being positive. She goes, "Yeah, I'm kind of positive." Kinda. I mean, it could be, whatever. So we're talking about finances. And when it comes to me, that's hilarious in itself. She said, I'm just a little irritated. I got this check, and she goes, Manny, when you get a really large check and the bank actually holds it, and so I'm sitting there like this. When you get a really large check,
Oh, I felt so
and
bad.
she goes, and they hold it for a while. They hold the check, and I was just like, and she's like, "You have no idea what I'm talking about, do you?" And I'm just like,
You just had to walk
I'm like,
away.
they hold checks. It's your money. And she goes, well, when it's a larger check, and I'm like $1,000, $2,000, and she's like, no. And so that I know that's minor, but that was just the beginning of the slap happy, the kind of just off the wall shit
Mhm.
that happens daily. And
Mhm.
there's so much that happens behind the scenes that it's just funny and it's silly, and it's what My Fight Our War needs. We deal with very serious issues here with addiction, mental health issues. People who are having very difficult times, and unfortunately, people who actually we have lost. And so, by no means do we take this lightly at all. But at the same time, it's not, as I've said, addiction is not a death sentence. And for me, I always say that we are in a beautiful place of recovery. So I'm going to enjoy the shit out of it. I'm going to enjoy it, and it doesn't mean that I don't take it seriously. But for my own train of thought is, what's the use of being sober and recovery if you're not going to enjoy life? Because for a while there, I was feeling guilty about being silly and stupid and all that shit. It's like I should be focused on this and all that stuff. So, I mean, the funny things that happen, it's nonstop. So,
I want to add a little bit to that,
No.
if I may cut in.
oh, you go right ahead,
It
birthday.
is my birthday.
It is your birthday, and besides that, I see some people that we're going to reach out to as well.
I'm trying to like look, and then
I know.
it's kind
So
of
go
hard.
right ahead.
Anyway, because we were just talking about things that are serious. When I was a nursing student, I worked a midnight cancer ward, and by the time I was 21, I wrapped more dead bodies than anybody would see in a lifetime. And then I spent many years, over 18 years, at Detroit Receiving. For those of you who are
Detroit,
Michigan area, you understand Detroit Receiving. It's a level 1 trauma center.
Mhm.
It's extremely busy, and I spent 18 years in surgery there. I actually worked in the ER too. And you see a lot of things. People wake up, they're going to have a great day, and they end up in my OR, or they end up with me in the ER. That's their day went bad. So from that moment on, when I could see that, so much devastation and death, and just some of the sad stories, I made it a point of making sure that I always look for the good. I mean, because even though it's like somebody's bad and they're with you, I'm there for them to try and help them get through whatever it is they're going through, or help the family get through whatever they're going through. So I always look for the good in Manny. I have to tell you, you make me laugh every day. I used to say all the time, you tickle me, and I kind of stopped that, but you do. You tickle me every day.
No, there's times
Funny.
where
That's so
we'll sit
funny.
there and just talk shit, and she just sits there, and because I just say whatever.
Yes, he does.
And she's sitting there laughing and snorting, and then she gets into the jinx thing. I was like, "What the hell is that, man? Is this your breathing issues?" And then all of a sudden comes the snorting and all that. But as serious as things go, though, there's so much laughter that goes on behind the scenes. And while you're going to be discussing all that too, let's get some of these amazing family members.
I haven't had time to write them all down. There's a lot
And,
of things, and then wow.
Right off the bat, Trisha Gibson, thank you for being on the show, Mike.
Hey, that was wonderful.
So there was a lot of great feedback, so thank you. And Danny, thank you. We got Tracy and there's Mike Sedmak. Talk about a blast from the past. Mike, how you doing, brother? Lisa, Katie, Karen, Trouble, and I see
Say hi to
Mom
Phyllis.
is watching. Phyllis,
Hey,
how
Phyllis.
you doing, Phyllis? She's out.
Yeah, that's okay. You said Lisa, Katie. Okay.
You know what, Phyllis? Love you, honey. And we are sending you nothing but positive thoughts and prayers from all of us at My Fight or War. And the birthday girl here that I mentioned, she's a nurse. So OG.
Yes, I
for
am.
Phyllis.
I just have a license, okay?
Yeah. So
He doesn't believe it.
she says she's a nurse. It's in crayon, her name. But Phyllis, thank you for watching as well as Trouble. And Cindy, talking about our gym family.
Yeah.
There's Cindy. And she's actually there way before shit. I mean,
She's been before I
she's
have
there.
too.
Yeah.
I get there early.
Wanda, Ange for our New Zealand family, Boston,
Maureen and
and
Maureen.
in Athens, Alabama, who is just doing amazing things well with Lori right there underneath. Pam, how you doing, Pam? Lori, happy birthday, OG.
And Wanda, did you see Wanda?
Yeah, I saw Wanda too. So I just wanted to jump on there real quick and thank you guys for having. And if anyone has any questions, if anyone has any comments, anybody has anything that they want to say or ask OG, the floor is yours. And Tyler's in the house.
Yeah. And Tyler, thank you. I did appreciate you saying badass, but I want to tell you about, this is a birthday to remember. Okay. I'm going to go to the gym, but I'm going to go home and let my dog out and, whatever.
She let the dogs out.
Just one. So I backed my car into the garage. I shut the garage door, and the metal thing that makes the garage door go broke from wood that was rotten. So here I am. I'm home. I'm ready to go to the gym. I can't even get out of my garage. I had to call. I missed work. I missed a number of hours. My boss said, "Well, any excuse to get out of work on your birthday."
Yeah. I'm stuck in my garage. I can't get out on my birthday.
I got 2 cars and I can't go anywhere. I'm just stuck.
So here I am on the way to the gym, and she calls. She goes, "Oh, I'm not going to the gym this morning." I'm like, "You're not? Why?" "I'm locked in the garage."
Oh my
God.
garage door's locked.
Yeah. But anyway, so that was how she started her birthday.
Yeah. I was like, okay, fine. So, I hung out with the dog and had some coffee, some flavored coffee that my son bought me for my birthday, and had a lovely morning waiting for the guys to show up to fix. And they were wonderful.
For her birthday, she got a garage door.
Well,
And for some silly reason, when I call, she passed me on speakerphone all the time. Why? She does that. She did that one time to a patient. She was with a patient at the house, and I called, and I didn't know I was on speaker. And she's like, "Oh, I'm wherever right now." And I go, "Oh, so you're still, portraying yourself and acting like you're really a licensed nurse? Do they know that you used to be a nurse and that your license was suspended?" And not knowing that I was on speaker. So all of a sudden I hear all this laughing. And so I'm like, "You have me on speaker." So now every time
poor guy, he's lost his foot. I'm wrapping his foot. It's like, oh.
Yeah, so we're going back and forth. So today she's telling me about the garage door and how there's cracks in the door And she goes, yeah, there's problems with it. And I go, it's kind of like your ass. Your ass. You got a crack in your ass. And all of a sudden, I hear the guy's there. I go, oh, so I'm on speaker again. So yeah, so I purposely try to, she'll tell me sometimes her schedule. It's like, oh, she's got to be so important right now. I'm going to call.
Thank you.
But
You plan it.
But yeah, so if anyone has anything they want to say to OG, please let her know now.
Okay, if he ever calls you, don't put him on speaker.
Put me on speaker. But
Anything can come out.
oh my God, and it usually does. I mean, it just it's just I'm trying to the things that some of the funny things, and usually it's like right before we go on. I had a few people one time asking about, doing shows and what is it like? And, especially they found it, they didn't believe me when they said how long I've been doing this. And this was months ago. I mean, quite a while ago when this happened. And I go, I've been doing it for like a couple months. And they're like, no, really? How long have you been doing it? I go, I'm serious. And they said, well, I've wanted to do something like this, but I'm so nervous. I don't know. And he didn't believe that I just started doing it. She goes, you don't seem nervous or anything. I'm like, I don't know. I go, because before I started this shit, the thought of talking to anyone or standing in front of anybody or doing anything like this terrified me. I mean, I would hyperventilate. And now, as you can see, you can't shut me up. And
Yep, that's
yeah,
true.
so
He's got the gift of gab.
oh, and it's just blah, blah, blah.
I thought he'd have the gift of gab his entire life, but evidently not.
Oh, but we'll sit here, and before the show starts, he goes, is it pretty tense before the show? I'm like, what do you mean tense? And he goes, well, I can't remember if it was a friend of his or someone had a show that he was at the studio, and it was a really nice setup where they had producer and editor, all that right in the studio. They had a sound man and everything, and they did the countdown, like the 5, 4, 3, and all that stuff. And then, when you get to 2, they stop counting, and then as the guest or the host, you count in your head 2, 1. And I'm like, the shit that happens before we go live is usually me going, what is today? What is today? Is today still Monday? And, all of a sudden we're live, or it's, what are we going to talk about? And she's looking at me like, what? I go, I don't know.
Whatever comes out of your mouth.
Because we never use a script. We just talk about whatever is flowing that day as far as our family. Whatever you guys want to discuss, or we'll have a topic, obviously. And then, of course, like I said, on Mondays, you guys know we have our guests come on. On Wednesdays, we got Skylar, Music and Mayhem. And then the whole time, she's back and forth with all the guests, with comments and all that. And that's what I mean about her, keeping the glue that keeps My Fighter Award.
Let you know we appreciate you and we love you.
But and she's doing all this, her organizational skills, because she was the coordinator of OR.
Excuse me, director. Okay.
She was the director of the coordinator. She was the coordinator's director.
Like 400 employees.
For employees.
400 employees.
400.
Yeah, man. That was a lot.
So she, did all this stuff. So I'm like, if you could handle 400 employees for a huge hospital such as the ones you did, you can handle My Fighter Award. And she's been doing an amazing job.
And the budget's almost the same.
0.
He used to spend a lot of money in the OR.
But just and we really appreciate all the birthday wishes and all that stuff.
Yeah.
She had no idea that I was going to put that out there, this morning. And I knew as soon as it posted, I knew as soon as, that you guys, I mean, literally by the time I hit post, it was just coming. And everyone that I just read, from Danny to, all of it, Tyler, everyone that's been here since the beginning. And the whole thing is with My Fighter Award and all of us, it is family.
It is.
And, with you, I mean, from the first day when we talked at the gym, did you ever think that this is where I mean,
just to look at the studio.
right
You
now,
can't see the studio, you can see the backdrop.
I've got some pictures that I've got.
Yeah, it's,
Um,
but I mean, he went from.
I went from this.
Phone.
Actually, this is what I went from
He went
this
from a tripod and a circle light
and this,
to,
sitting on my kitchen table
yeah.
with a circle light on here, and then the legs were going on. So while I was talking, it was going like this. And I was doing a show with Hard Knocks with Dan and Donna. So as I'm doing it, it's just like, and Dan's like, we could do this another time. I'm like, no, we're gonna do it right now. This I was my first one. I didn't want to screw it up, and so the thought of with my fighter war, it was just going to be something to do some posts, just put people's messages out there and chit chat, and all of a sudden here you are, here you are running everything. Not only that, she's talking with all the guests from other shows.
And those who are going to come on ours, I've already
That's
reached out
what I
to
mean. She has put all of our guests and the times, the emails, the pictures. She does all that. The flight, or taking care of the arrangements for the flights to New York, to Connecticut, the cars. Setting up the shows, the times, the guests, and now
to Athens, Alabama.
and then we're Boston and Lori in Athens,
I'm
Alabama.
going to come see them.
June
5th, 6th,
5th and 6th, we're coming to.
or 6th, 7th.
And OG does all that. And it's funny too, because at the gym, you guys, it's hard to tell, but she is about 4'0" and a quarter.
I'm 5
She's
foot.
5 foot. Oh, yeah.
5
Well,
foot and a quarter.
she is, I said something one time about you, 5 foot tall. She goes, I am 5 foot and a quarter. And I was like,
Okay.
a quarter. A quarter. Okay.
Oh, well.
So here we are at the gym. And again, just like you guys know, my IT skills suck and I have none. Well, she had no experience doing all this, but doing reels, doing shorts, doing stories and all that we do at the gym that you've seen, that's her doing that. So here we are at the gym. We're going around talking to our family and we're asking them to, do you mind being on camera? We're going to post these and 99% don't mind. So I go, it's not going to be awkward where we're going to, we don't need you posing. These are going to be you're working out or just, you won't even know we're taking them. So here she is, being very inconspicuous. A buddy of ours, Joe, he's sitting there and he's benching and he's doing inclines. He's sitting there. She walks up with a camera while he's laying on the bench and she goes, you don't see me. You don't see me. And she's got the camera like right here. The guy's laying on the bench. And she's like, okay, you don't see me here. Just act natural, start working out. And Joe's like, the fuck? And so then all of a sudden I look, and then she's like a shark looking around the gym, and she'll see someone, and she's off over there.
Oh, yeah.
And the thing is, here's
Cindy knows.
Yeah, there's Cindy. Here's this little tiny nurse running around, and don't let that fool you though, because she's tenacious as shit, and doesn't take no. So here she is chasing this one poor guy. Oscar. I'm sitting there and I see him walking, and all of a sudden I hear Oscar, and she's walking, and all of a sudden she's what? Oscar. She's walking, and all of a sudden she stops. Oscar. And I think he probably did hear it. He's like, "Fuck this." And then she's still coming. So poor Oscar's making a beeline from the locker room, and she's walking faster with those little legs. Oscar. And I'm sitting there just laughing because these are all inconspicuous, whatever.
That's the right word.
As she's yelling at this poor guy, chasing him into the locker room. So then she's like, gets up, and then he finally took off. She stops and she's like, she's looking around. She's like, pissed. She's like,
no.
She's like, you see that? And then she turns around.
He's laughing at me.
And she's sitting there just scoping the rest of the gym for her next victim. By now, all of our family members are like,
Maybe she won't see
You know,
me.
like, oh, shit, you know, they're trying to hide. And it's just, but that's what just makes it so funny, because we take a serious thing that we're dealing with here and we put some humor into it. And oh, she does, man. And she's sitting there and she always puts it on me. She goes, "You're the one, you're the host, you do this, you do that." But the stuff that happens behind the scenes is all 100% her. And
Yeah,
It's just-
I've taken up residence in the left half of his brain.
oh, I mean, there's times
There.
we'll sit there and I'm like, "What am I doing today?" And she's like,
I'll give you your
"You're
list.
going to work." And then after that, you've got a doctor appointment. After that, you've got a show with so-and-so. That you've got a meeting with Ian. You got a meeting with the producer. You got this. And I'm just sitting there going,
Oh,
we watched a video the other day at the airport. And we're on this moving sidewalk at Metro Airport
Oh,
in this
yeah.
psychedelic shack tunnel. And
for those of you who've been to the Detroit Metropolitan Airport, and it's one of the best airports in the world, actually, having been around the world. It's got this long tunnel. It's got a moving walkway with psychedelic.
oh, they're lights. It's just like, I'm in this thing. Yeah, and it's just like, and she's used to this shit. Here I'm going, man, if this was in my party days, this would be a riot. And she said something about, you know, I was doing a live, and I don't even know what it was, and something about our destination. I go, I have no idea where I'm going. I just get on the plane and go. You know, who's the show? I don't know. I sit down, I put on the headset, and I start talking.
Just follow me. We'll be
Yeah.
okay.
She's got it all figured out.
It'll be
You know,
okay.
she hands me this. She goes, "Here's who we're talking to. You know, this is what they do, and this is, you know, here you go, game on, do your shit, do your story, do your thing." And it's just like, and that's how this whole thing just started flowing. And then,
Growing and growing and
Oh.
growing.
yeah, and it's just,
But what a lovely family. I mean, everybody is just so sweet and so kind. And, you know, like willing to chip in and come on the show. And
oh, I mean, look what happened. You know, we were talking about having you guys come on, and all of a sudden we went from getting a couple people, and that we are redoing the brand, so there was a little bit of a issue there, you know, a little stumble. We are booked now, going through going into the 1st of March. We're all through January, February. We have guests scheduled. As Jody knows, I see Swag.
yeah.
As Jody knows, man, we were sitting there, and last second we had an opening, and Swag's like, "I'm in," and that's what I mean.
November
Stuff
25th.
like that. Jody jumped in, man, and he took care of business, and that's, you know, but it's just incredible the things that have happened, and you know, we talk about our blessings in life,
Oh, yeah.
and you know, you guys always hear me say this, and but you know, being, you know, as a first responder, you know, time with Detroit Police and then working EMS, I've heard many unfortunate times people that were victims or family or friends of victims that didn't make it. And I'm sitting there talking with these people, and they're like, "Man, I wish I had more time. I wish I would have said this. I wish I would have said I loved you one more time. I wish they knew," or just all these things. And, you know, just our family and the blessings, and, you know, just letting people know. And I've had people say, "Well, man, they know, it's my family. They know I love them." Yeah, they do.
Mhm.
But you know what? Just say it. Just let them know you love them. And,
Doesn't cost a dime to say that.
yeah, and you know, just this this whole just adventure, this journey, it's just so surreal. And going into it completely, let's see, Danny, you're
Too camera
too
shy?
You know what, brother? I tell you what, man, we'll chit chat. And I mean, you don't know, that's one thing too. We talk about is there's no expectations for any of us in this family. You don't have to do a damn thing.
All you're gonna do is talk about yourself. Who knows more about you than you?
Yeah, and the thing is too, if you want to come on, just like you see, you know, all our guests, all of them, all the way through March are welcome. If you don't want to, and you'd rather, you know, just
Watch.
be, you know, posting, and that's
Fine.
great. That's what we need, you know. And the main thing is never do anything that you don't want. don't ever have, I've had people say, well, I had family and friends said that I should do this because it'd be good for me, that I should.
Mm.
And you know what? Our family and friends are great because they mean well, best intentions. But
They don't know what's in your heart.
yeah, I mean, when it comes to something like this, it's that's why I always ask before we do go on, are you sure that you want to do this?
Mhm.
And
And Manny will walk you through as if you become shy or whatever, that's okay. I mean, you can see he likes to talk. He can promote the conversation.
and that's just it. I when I saw the first few shows I did, I was very pissed at myself, extremely pissed off because I did an absolutely terrible job. Terrible job. Because, well, one, I didn't know any better
There you go.
of how to do a
Mhm.
show. And I was doing the show with someone who was actually just like family to me. It was someone I grew up across the street with. And I saw her kids being born. I saw them grow up. And unfortunately, I saw Kevin die from addiction. And she came on and did the story. And here I am doing the show, and it's back and forth.
Mhm.
Well, it ended up being more of a conversation instead of an interview, letting Nancy talk and letting her
Yeah.
tell her story, because I just got so caught up in the conversation of that. At the time, I thought it was a masterpiece. I'm like, this shit's easy. And then it was edited, and I saw it, and I literally got very upset and emotional because who Nancy and Rick are to me. And it was basically a disaster in my eyes, because the whole point of the shows are about the guest. It's not, but then again, depending on the guests and their comfort level.
Mhm.
Sometimes you might have someone on here who is very experienced on doing shows. And as a host, all I do is get that ball rolling and sit back. And if things start to go a little off track, you just bring it back in. Or if things need a little, poke that fire a little bit. Oh, I have no problem poking that fire. And but it's mainly let the guests tell their story.
Mhm.
And it was a learning experience, and I'm still learning, man. OG will sit there and she critiques me, and we'll talk. And from day one, man, I'll sit there and I'll watch these shows, and I watch other shows. I'm sorry, I watch other shows and other hosts from all over, and I learn from them. And like I said, this is something I thought was going to be just like a little hobby, maybe do a show or two every couple of weeks.
Ooh.
Well, it's turned into a little more
Boy,
than that. Yeah. So, but
because if you haven't noticed, he's also doing like little snippets on TikTok.
oh, we're doing that. And this is all, again, because of Matt Cronin, our producer and our director. He saw what I'm doing, and he's like, yeah, he goes, it's good. I mean, he was being very polite and nice, and he was being honest. He said, but you are missing out on such other things because of not knowing where to put the content, how to put it, what keywords to use when producing it and editing it, and all that, which I don't know. Enter Matt Cronin.
Mhm.
And now
Well, you're a good student.
oh, and I love
You wanna
this here. I love this. And
Really?
you can't tell.
Yeah.
Matt Cronin is just an amazing dude. I just loved, man. Again, another brother. And he is basically taking over everything. He's taking over YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, My Fight Our War page. And he's going to be doing the shorts, the reels, the everything. And the things that us three discussed, as far as where we are and where we're going and what's going to happen and future plans, I literally was sitting here just like,
Well, yeah, Matt's got a
very,
handle on a lot of stuff.
very overwhelming.
You'll see a lot more.
Let's see what Danny say. Let me get the courage up. And yeah, I mean, Danny, you ain't going anywhere. You, Katie, little man, we're not going anywhere.
Whenever you want.
I mean, you want to come on and chit chat, we'll do that anytime anybody.
We're not going anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, as you see, we've got guests for a while there. It was kind of hit and miss for a little bit. And now the
Hold on.
list, but you know what?
Uh-oh. Joke time?
Let's see.
Did you actually write them down?
Well, there's a few here.
Keep it clean.
I was thinking of that.
Mm-hmm.
Life is like a roll of toilet paper. The closer it gets to the end, the faster it goes. I know. OG, let's see. Well, it says here, according to this, it says OG is so old that when OG orders a 3-minute egg, they ask her for the money up front.
Yeah, that's about
This
right.
is, I took this off the internet.
Yeah.
See, that's one thing too about doing this shit, which I didn't know, is they're like, oh yeah, we saw this stuff about you. I'm like, where'd you see that?
To share because OG, I had no idea what OG was original
Gangster, yeah.
Right. But when I talked to one of the kids at work, who will remain nameless, I said, yeah, man, my nickname's OG. I got all these people calling me OG now. She goes, what does that mean, old gal? And I went, oh, God. Okay, yeah, well, yeah, but original gangster.
She's the OG, man. And but we were talking about doing this shit, and I was talking to CARE, people at CARE and people at FAN
Mhm.
about doing some speaking engagements for them. And I go, well, if you'd like to come to our page, you can see shows that I've done, and you can get a feel for what I do to make sure it's a good fit. He goes, oh, we've seen him. I'm like, I don't know this guy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what do you mean you've seen him? He goes, well, we Googled you. I'm like,
Huh.
what? Again, new guy as far as social media. Man, I tell you what, I'm like, what the hell is this shit? I was like, wait a minute, this is for other people. That I was
Yeah, so he Googled himself. It was kind
to
of
see what it meant.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I'm seeing this shit. And I was like, wow.
They know a lot about
I mean, and just hearing, it's saying, Mandy Vitale is this. I was like, who is this talking? And it was a very strange feeling.
Yeah.
And
But every now and then you should Google yourself. To see,
it was
to
just,
see what's being said.
believe me, the things that are being said about me.
Well, it's nothing you wouldn't say
Oh,
about yourself.
Oh
so.
man, the things that are being said. Why didn't a skeleton go to prom?
Oh, I don't know. Why didn't the skeleton go to the prom?
Because he had nobody to go with. So as you guys can tell, it's a bad dad joke. So if any of you would like to participate in bad dad joke time, please feel free to jump in. And again, if there's any comments for OG, for OG's birthday, anything at all that you would like to chit chat with her about, let's see. What else is there? I'm trying to think of, we already told them about you getting high.
Some people.
Yeah. I had.
I'm a lightweight when it comes to drugs.
Yeah, well, I had 2 major back surgeries. They were both over 7 hours long each. And like I said, OG was nice enough to help, during the recovery process. So I'm sitting here and I'm on the couch, and all of a sudden I look and she's sitting there, and just watching TV. And all of a sudden I hear, I'm like, what the hell's wrong with you? And she starts rubbing her calf on her leg. She's like, magnesium.
For a muscle cramp.
But she's talking like magnesium. I'm like, and then I was like, well, what is up? And so I got my leg. And it's okay. So I've got laughing, thinking that she's just messing around. And then she's like doing it again, and she's rubbing her leg, and she's like, what is wrong with you? And all of a sudden, her eyes, and then like her
glazed over.
Kind of had this glazed look. And then the way she was talking, like slurred, speech. And then, I'm also a EMT, and she's talking about this pain in the back of her leg, which could be a deep vein thrombosis, DVT. And if that clot breaks loose, you could die.
Stroke
It's
or
like
a
a
heart
stroke.
attack. Yep.
CVA, cerebral vascular accident.
Very good.
I learned that
Long time ago.
just like you're still a nurse. So here I'm like, what the hell's going on? So then she's
got
like
worried.
starting to like slur a little bit. So now I'm thinking a CVA, I'm thinking a possible stroke and a DVT going on, with the clot or something like that. So I'm grabbing the part of her leg because if you touch it, it's very painful. So now she's like, I'm gonna throw up, I'm gonna puke. So I get the bucket for her, and we're sitting there, and so now I'm like, look at me. And I'm like, it's called a Cincinnati stroke test. I'm asking certain questions, see a response, and then I'm asking her to smile, to look at me, to see if there's any droop from one side to the other of the face. So now this shit's getting serious to the point where I'm like, this ain't right. So I called 911.
Yeah, he leans over and says, I'm gonna call an ambulance.
I'm not fucking
I'm gonna call an
around.
ambulance.
So, I mean, the symptoms she just described were basically a DVT and a stroke. So we get them here. And they do the vitals, a workup, everything looks good. We're talking, and she's out of it. She's literally, they're asking her level of consciousness and what she's usually like. And I go, well, she's pretty dopey as shit usually. She's a little crazy, but not like this.
Yeah.
And like, did she eat anything? Is she on medication? Is she this? And they said, did she take anything else, anything different? And all of a sudden it clicked. Before my back surgeries, she got a container of gut, because I was in so much pain from all of my surgeries and surgeries coming up from my back that I couldn't sleep. And I'd get maybe an hour, if that, a night. So, but I didn't like taking like muscle relaxers or any of that shit just because the way it made me feel. So she said, as a nurse and all that, seeing, different people who were getting help by edibles, and they had specific type, and it said for sleep, for relaxation.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she got a container of them. Well, she was having issues. I think it was with her hip or something like that. So she took one, and just not even thinking, she took one. So now we're sitting there, and it went from this panic of a DVT and a stroke to we're all looking at each
laughing
other.
Hysterically.
We're looking at each other, and they're like, and that's what it was. I got the container, and it's like the amount that was in there, she should have taken a half. And then she took the whole thing, quarter, and she took the whole thing. She was not having a stroke. She was not having a DVT. She was stoned. So here I am. They're like, are you okay? And I go, no, I just had 7 hours of back surgery.
She's supposed to be helping me.
She's supposed to be helping me. She's going to be worthless for the next 12 hours. Like, she's stoned. And I go, so now I go to freaking Taco Bell. And they're cracking up. So she's sitting there, and I'm like, okay. So she's the whole time she's like, ugh. She's like, people pay for this? People pay for this? This is terrible. And I'm laughing. I go, just sit back. So she has her puke bucket. I sit back. She leans forward. I said, you know what? I go, scoot. I go, just scoot your left. She goes like this. and something like that. It was funny as hell. But it was something that prior to realizing what it was scarier than shit. It was, it went from one to the other, but just, silly stuff like that, that comes up, that is just amusing,
Speaking of shit, Dan says a joke.
Uh-oh.
Did you know diarrhea is hereditary?
No, I did not know that.
It runs in the genes.
Yeah, I like that.
Perfect. What a good segue,
There you go. What were some of the other ones? Okay, man, we got to get some bad dad jokes going. We got, okay. Since it's Halloween, this guy hears these kids come to the door. Trick or treat, and he looks outside, and he sees these 3 kids. Sees this little boy. He goes, oh, what are you? And he's dressed up. He goes, I'm a ghost. Okay, gives him some candy. And he looks over, and there's this little girl. She's dressed up, and she's got her little crowd. She's dressed up like a princess. He goes, what are you? She goes, I'm a princess. Okay. And all of a sudden he looks at the third little boy and so what are you? He goes, you could obviously tell he was dressed up as a pirate. He goes, you're a pirate? He goes, yeah, I'm a pirate. And he goes, well, where are your buccaneers? And the kid goes, under my bucket hat. I know.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's Halloween.
Yeah.
It's bad dad joke.
Mhm.
It's OG's roast.
Oh yeah. Why did the deer go to the dentist?
Why?
It had buck teeth. He said buck, buccaneer.
Come on, come up with another one. We need some more. Come on, folks.
Why did the nose feel sad?
Why?
It's always getting picked on.
Let's see.
What kind of music should you listen to while you're fishing?
What kind?
Something catchy.
Why? Where did Ghost go on vacation?
I don't know where.
The Bahamas.
Ooh. Still thought.
I'm trying to think some other weird stuff. Some other roasting material. You know what? I should have, of course, like I said, I never think things out before I hit that live button. But I should have jotted down some of the things that, just the funny things that happen on a daily basis.
Seriously, daily.
That are just so freaking silly. And like I said, there's times where I'll just say whatever. I have no filter.
I laugh.
And she just sits there
Sorry.
and just laughs. We were coming out of Appomattox at one time, and I can't remember how this one went, but there was something on the board, like a advertisement, and that's when we walked out, and they said something to you, and you couldn't see it, and you're like, "What?" And it's something about your vision. And my vision's fine. And it was, it's not funny telling it because it's so spur of the moment. But
He thinks I can't hear him if I don't have my glasses on.
well, she's like, I can't hear you. And she puts her glasses on. She goes, okay. I was like, you put your glasses on?
To hear me.
Now you can hear me better. But just little things like that. And like I said, my bad, because I should have
We got to start writing them down.
writing down some of these things because they are funny moments, man, that happen. I always said that before we go live, I was thinking about setting my camera up and go live with the camera
Before we go live?
also, just so people could see the stuff that happens and that happens behind the scenes and all that stuff. But like I said, I just wanted to do a shout out to you for your birthday.
Thank you.
And to let everyone know that all the stuff that you do for My Fight Our War,
The family is fabulous. Just
and
fabulous.
there's so much going on. Just ordering stuff, the studio, taking care of the flights, the arrangements for the shows.
Getting luggage, suitcases, packing the suitcase.
Yeah, well, my T-shirt. It's like, what T-shirt are you gonna wear? I mean, but no, just
The good white one or the other white one?
just seriously though. I mean, just stuff that I take, and I have to say I don't take for granted. But there's just a lot that happens, and the things that we are going to be discussing that are happening now.
That's gonna be fun.
I mean, it's the things that are going to be happening with the shows that we're going to be discussing more when we get back.
Mhm.
Because to say that there's a lot is such an understatement. I mean, and it doesn't seem real. I mean, when we are discussing these things with Matt, who is our producer, and with Ian and the people that I have been so blessed to now be associated with in New York and Connecticut.
More family.
It's just, as well as our own family as well. Like I said, it's just growing. And all I talk about is all of us and how this started with just a thought and what it's turned into. And by word of mouth, man, with Skylar, now the show, the Music and Mayhem that we do with my brother Skylar. And now we're going to be doing shows. We're going to be like basically, we talked about it, touring with Skylar and Kayla. I mean, here we are talking about this stuff. It's like, is this real? I mean, talking to my mom about stuff going on and just discussing these things, it just doesn't seem real. And me and Skylar talked about it. It's like where we were, years ago. Just like I asked you, my Fight Our War, January 9th, coming up, will be 2 years. OG's been part of it.
Since about a month after you started.
So almost 2 years.
Almost 2 years.
And basically running it for the entire time. And the changes that she's seen, and especially in the last few months, because for no reason, and another thing is she has never once doubted me. Even though there have been plenty of reasons why she should.
You did a few times doubted yourself.
There were times where
Where you
wasn't
were
sure. I
low.
was in this
This
little
lull.
lull. But then all of a sudden, something, and all of a sudden I kept telling her, for no reason, I just, like, all of a sudden one day, this like epiphany happened where I was just like, and I said, something's gonna blow here. Something big's about to happen. And she was just kind of looking at me. And I had said, I don't know what. I don't know what, when, who, how, anything, but something really big's gonna happen. And within the next, I think, less than a month is when, we hooked up with Ian, and then we hooked up with other people, and these doors started opening. And to what is about to happen, and the people that we are now associated with as well, is just overwhelming. And I can't wait to talk, about it in detail when we get back. So I have more information. But that's like I said to you, man, that day at the gym, when you walked up and said hi to what we're doing right now,
Worlds apart.
having people say that we're on their bucket list to me,
Yeah.
it's just, I mean, it's very surreal to know that we make such an impact. And when I say we, my Fight Our War.
The family.
Yeah, I mean, it's just an amazing feeling, the love that we all have, man. And it's because of you guys.
I want to jump in a second.
Okay.
Just so you know, November 4th, which is next Monday, which we normally would have a speaker on Monday, we're not. That's our first time for a 4-day weekend in New York. So we're trying to figure out how much energy Manny's going to have after speaking anywhere from 8 to 10 people, doing 8 to 10 interviews. So there's nobody on November 4th. Now, November 11th, we have Stephanie Rose. So that will be our very next Monday show. But tomorrow,
That's right.
which is the national holiday,
tomorrow.
Manny's birthday.
And it's Music and Mayhem with
Music and
Skylar Ray,
Mhm.
who dropped more music. That man is a machine. I mean, he is just, along with Kayla, the music that they produce is incredible. His energy, his energy, but then when you get them both together, just seeing them work together, you can just feel it. And then when they sing, oh man, I mean,
He's got kind of an Eminem vibe, and then she's got that beautiful
oh my God.
operatic voice, trained voice.
The
Jeez.
day that Skylar came on was another one of those aha days that I had, because it was about an hour before we went live. I was just doing more research and just doing a little bit more with Skylar on his show and over his page. And I'm listening to his music more and more. Before, just a few little snippets of it. I started listening to more of it then before he came on. And OG was here, and I remember I had the phone like this. I didn't sit down for an hour. I was pacing, and I was just like, "This is going to be huge." I go, "I'm telling you right now, this is
You
going
want
to be
to pace it up
huge."
and down.
And sure as shit, we went live. And well, no, I'm sorry, we didn't go live. We came on, and I said, let's come on and start talking, just chit chat before we go live. We went on for a half hour, me and Skylar, just chatting, just talking. And from the minute we said hello, OG was like,
How
How
long have you known?
how long have you guys known each other? Because
about 35 minutes.
yeah, we just started talking, and the laughing, the energy was unreal. And then, we went live for an hour and a half. the show, we did another half hour.
Just chilling,
And
decompressing.
next thing you know, is like, we got to do our own show.
Uh-huh.
And walked, and then my Music and Mayhem was born.
Mhm.
And now we're going to be traveling around, doing shows with Skyler,
Mhm.
doing meet and greets with him. It's just crazy. It really is. And like I said,
Life is good.
to this whole family, man. I hope you're all as proud of yourselves as we are, of all of you and all of us. And this is reaching out to everyone else, like Boston and Lori, to Kat over at Sober Patrol, and Dan and Don at Hard Knocks, Brad McLeod at Sober's Cool, and Jared and Brianna at Define the Blacklist, and Ty over at Scarnation, and Live Right, Fan, Care, AA, Al-Anon. I know I'm missing some. Swaggy, High Sobriety. Let's see. I mean, the list goes on and on.
Mhm.
Of course, Ian, Locked In with Ian Bick, Coach Dave, AJ Galante, the guests who are going to be coming on this coming weekend.
Connecticut.
It's just, and that's just this much. I swear to God, it's this much. What I just said is this much for what is about to take place.
Mhm.
And that's like Matt, who's the producer, said. He goes, I know you got energy and all that. He goes, be ready. He goes, because you're doing 8 to 10 shows in 3 days.
Woo.
Or no,
Yeah, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
in three days.
Fly back on Monday.
He's got between 8 to 10 shows that he's got scheduled for me to do. And I'm like, bring it on. Bring it on. That's why we're here.
This man, women, this man, if we're like 10 minutes before a show's going to go
Oh my
on,
God.
he can sit there and I say, you got 10 minutes. Rest. And literally, he leaned back and went
I
right
was
to
asleep.
sleep.
It
Okay.
was Kate with Fan came on as our guest. It was, I think it was after I did their speaking engagement.
Yes.
We had her come on as a guest, and I was exhausted. And she was coming on at 7:15 for some reason, and I was sitting right here, and it was 7:00, and I go, I'm exhausted. She goes, you got 15 minutes, and she goes, just take a 10-minute nap. And I went just like this.
Out like a light.
And I was done. And I'm sitting here, ears on and everything, just like this. And all of a sudden, she goes, wake up, wake up. And
Gotta go.
I opened my eyes. And she goes, you got 2 minutes. And I went like this, went this, hit live. And we were off to the races. And that's the beauty of this family. And I've said it many times too, because I've had people talking about followers. I've had people talk about stars, and I've had people talk about all this other stuff. And what means the most to me is when I look to the right of that screen and I see your names,
Mhm.
when I see comments, and when I see these just beautiful things that are being said
Mhm.
about all of us, about each other,
Mhm.
back and forth, and not only you guys to us and us to you, but then
To each other.
between each other, Dan talking to
Yeah, while
OG.
you're talking, they're having
Yeah,
conversations.
you guys are
amongst
having,
themselves.
and I'm sitting here watching Heidi have a conversation with Dan, and then Dan have a conversation with Skylar, and then Heidi have a conversation with Tony, and I just sit
It's
here.
lovely.
And, it's just like I said, surreal is the only word I can come up with.
Now, hold on, he's going to take this family for a ride.
Oh, and it's it was a few months ago when this opportunity came up that jumped all over, and we are going to be on one hell of a ride,
Mhm.
and we all go together.
That's
We're
right.
family. So, OG, it's your birthday, man. So
Yes,
before
it
we
is.
end this, what do you got, man? Anything for the family? Anything?
Well, something profound. Actually, one philosophy that I've lived by for most of my life is time is my one unrenewable resource. So I want to enjoy all the time that I have. And I have a dear, dear friend who's been a friend of mine for a long time, Kathy Ingalls. She's on with us tonight. And
Hey,
she doesn't
Kathy.
come on very much at all. So this is beautiful. And she can tell you, the time is so very important.
And another thing with OG is did make a comment one time
Oh,
about, I said something and then she replied, she goes, well, I am kind of positive.
Okay.
And I
He
started
started
laughing
laughing.
my ass off.
I thought I was
Kinda positive. Every day, and there's people that'll walk in and you'll see them and they're like, hey, how you doing? How are you today? I am great. I mean, and the thing is, it's with every person that says that to her. I'm fantastic. I'm great. And that's all day, every day. And that's OG. I mean, that's not, it's not
fake.
fake.
It just is.
That's just her philosophy.
Well, there's one guy at the Jew who says, how's Miss Fabulous today? I said, I'm
Yeah.
fabulous.
No, and that's, and the thing is, she's like, I'm always great. I'm fantastic.
Mhm.
You know, I'm me. I'm good. And it's not being narcissistic. It's not being, stuck up. It's just being how we all should be, happy with ourselves.
Well, I want to give a little bit, if I can, a little background to that.
You get whatever you want, man. It's your birthday.
And I don't know everybody's religious background or whatever, but there's a philosophy that says, I am that I am is the name of God. Okay. I don't know where that's from, but I've heard it, So anything that follows the words I am, well, yeah, but what part? I don't know. Anything that follows I am should be positive, like God would be positive, if that's your belief. So if I'm feeling tired, and I don't even know if you've noticed this, I'll say I'm feeling tired. I will not say I am and say the word, because anything I am is forever and ongoing. Feelings are transient. So I can feel sad. I can feel angry. I can feel mad. Those are feelings. They're transient. They come and go. But I am is forever. So I am fabulous. There you go.
And, that's what I say, where things happen for a reason. And I truly believe that now, with everything that's happened with me, everything that's happened with this family, everything that's happened with the studio, the people that we are involved with, the opportunities that are now happening, everything happens for a reason. And I do not, there are no, coincidences in life for as far as I'm concerned. They happen because they're supposed to be happening. And for me, it happens because it's God's will.
Mm-hmm.
And, it took me quite a while to accept that and believe it and not just say the words like, and actually believe it and hear, and right here, this cross.
Transformation.
Right here, is knowing that there is absolutely nothing that I cannot do with, because God has given me the tools just like all of us, not just, and it's not arrogant to say that. This is something that we've all been blessed with. We've all got the tools to do anything. And it's just, we have to believe it. And, it's not arrogant. It's not. And it's just, because before this, I never would have believed doing all this. But the thing is, it's not my choice. This is God's will. And, and it's,
It's a divine appointment to be in front of the microphone.
like I said, this is my happy place.
Mhm.
When I sit here with these little ears on and talking to here and looking to that and talk to you guys, this is my happy place. Just like being at church, being at the gym, being on my Harley, being in the, hunting, fishing. It's my happy
Like
place.
Boston preaching or Skylar singing.
This,
That's a happy
and the
place.
thing
Find
is,
it.
it's such a passion. Me and Jared talked about this. It's a passion. And it's something that I am so blessed to have this and to be in the company of the people that I have been accepted in. The circle that I'm in now with these individuals is such a blessing and an honor to be associated with them in any way. It's just an honor. And
You might end up being their blessing, just so you know.
well, the way I look at it, we're all blessings. We
There you
are
go.
all each other's blessings.
Excellent.
And that's why it's my fight, our war.
There you
And
go.
that's why we are a family. And that's why we keep fighting a good fight. And
All right.
so you got anything else to sign off for your birthday?
No, I've had a fabulous, fabulous day. It started out a little rocky, but it still ended up good because, like I said, the garage door died. It only cost me $160. Hallelujah. I was expecting them to hit me with $1,000 bill. And they came and they did a great job. And it's just been a lovely day. And I've gotten flowers and I've gotten cards and I'm going to go get some scratch offs that I'm going to see if I got it lucky. You know, just, it's a lovely thing.
It's a good day.
It's a good day. Like every day. It's a good day.
So you guys have a great night. Thanks for, letting this be part of your life. Thank you for being part of Coachy's birthday.
Yeah. And tomorrow, 7:30.
Yeah, it is.
Music and Mayhem. Tomorrow,
Tomorrow, 7:30, Music and Mayhem. We're going to be chit-chatting with Skylar about
And I'll put it on his list. Okay?
it's going to be, it's on the list.
It's on the
So
list.
we're going to be talking about his new music that just dropped again.
Mhm.
And we will also be chit-chatting about,
Your birthday.
oh, that's right, birthday. Yeah, I'm going to be old.
You know what?
Hey, it's
You
better
wanna
than
be-
the alternative.
Eggs, if you want to be as old as dirt, trust me.
And I feel it.
Keep going.
Yeah, I feel it. Someone said, you know what, Manny, they couldn't believe it. They said, how old are you going to be? Like, I'm going to be 59. And they're like, damn, man. And I said, joking around about it, they said, it's just a number. They said, you're only as old as you feel. I'm like, shit, don't tell me that. Like, I'm 159. But you guys have a great night. We will be back again tomorrow with Music and Mayhem, and then chit-chat some more with as Thursday. And then, of course, we're going to be doing our lives Friday on the way to the airport, at the airport.
In the psychedelic
I
tunnel.
mean, we are going to be just letting it rip because this coming weekend is going to be epic. So, Danny, and please tell Katie and Little Man we said hi. Everyone else, man, thank you guys so much. We love you. Keep fighting good fight, and we will be talking soon.
Well, thank you. That was very nice. I wrote down absolutely nothing.
We're still alive. We're still alive. So,
Are,
hello, people.
are we still live?
Yeah.
Oh, oops.
It says an error has occurred. So we're just going to keep chit-chatting.
An error has occurred.